I've talked on the podcast before about the notion of poetic faith, the suspension of disbelief that we all have as children.
We have it every time we're involved with media. The moment that you watch a movie, you're suspending disbelief and you're completely absorbed by the movie. In good media, you start to suspend your disbelief pretty quickly, and you get pulled into the event, and you no longer think that these actors are people that pretend to be things that they are not. Right? If you are losing your suspension of disbelief, you think that the actors are just pretending. But when you suspend disbelief, that stops. And that to me is really important, because that is actually about the future of artificial intelligence. Because with artificial intelligence, we also have to suspend disbelief if we start to communicate with artificial intelligence.
AI, I'm skeptical, I'm cautious. I'm not sure we know the right way to use it or to engage with it, but I'm not completely against it. Last year, I got asked to consult with an AI development company because of my work with archetypes and archetypal psychology. And so I had the idea, I was like, okay, I'm going to let go of my resistance to this thing. It's happening whether I like it or not. Maybe I can help things move in a good direction if we feed it richer, deeper, more mythological stories. They were going to create these AI agents who are a kind of embodiment of different archetypal energies. So I could ask this archetypal king or warrior or a magician on their perspective on things that I presented from my life. I thought that was like really interesting, in that it could still allow people to engage imaginally with these archetypal figures.
I was always interested in technology. I became really interested in virtual reality in the 80s. Jung was actually the first psychologist to use biometrics for emotion recognition. For that, he got a doctorate in law from Clark University, because it was the beginning of the lie detector. So I started to use Jung's association experiment, his biometrics of it, to do emotion recognition. We did that at MIT, and then the computers were too slow at the time. In 2014, created the first empathic artificial intelligence that could work with PTSD of returning vets. They got a grant from DARPA, the research arm of the military. They also worked a lot with virtual reality. Then in 2020, we created a company with them. My task was to create prompt structures that would make it possible for these entities to not just feel your emotions and begin to reverberate with your emotions. That's why our company is called Attune Media Labs. We could also use these large language models and combine them with the emotion recognition and feel dissonances between the emotional undertones and the verbal expression. And that created a whole new way of being. But in order to communicate with it, you have to suspend disbelief. If you can suspend disbelief, you have a sense that you're talking to someone. At the same time, you know it's an artificial intelligence, because if you talk to someone and you believe that they're real, then you get endangered. So you have to have a suspension of disbelief in which you know that when you're out of that suspension of disbelief, that you're talking to something that is made of code.